Welcome. You're watching News Now at 12. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Over 112 people have been killed and over 350 injured after the fire tragedy at the Puttingal Temple in Kollam. And now police have conducted raids across Kollam to seize illegal godowns of explosives. Already about 5 people have been detained in this. Let's cut across first to Nikhil, who joins me from Trivandrum. Nikhil, to begin with, give us a sense of what's happening as far as the injured are concerned. There are about 350 people and several of them have now been brought to Trivandrum. Well, I don't think we have Nikhil on the phone line right now. We'll try and get him back in just a bit. But as I was earlier saying, about 5 people have been placed under detention so far. We are also given to understand that apart from these people, the temple trustees who are being blamed for this massive tragedy are still on the run. We'll try and go to Nikhil later, but let's cut across now to Kollam. Shabir is now joining me from there. Shabir, 5 people, of course, has been arrested as far as this is concerned, but the temple trustees, the main men responsible for this massive tragedy, still on the run.
Well, as of now, what we are hearing from our police sources is that 5 people who are just workers at the manufacturing unit, they have been detained for questioning, and the CID is actually questioning them to try and find out who is responsible for this entire tragedy and what kind of instructions they had received from the contractor as far as the crackers and the fireworks are concerned. And on the other hand, there is absolutely no clue about the Devasam board authorities who are actually responsible for holding this event. They are the one who publicized that there will be competitive fireworks here at the temple site during that festival. And it's very clear that despite not having permission from the district authorities, they went ahead to conduct and hold the fireworks here at the temple site. And clearly they are the ones who are to be blamed. And since this tragedy, they have gone missing. They are out on the run. So far, there is no clue about where these people are. And even as we speak, the chief controller of Explosives from Nagpur is here assessing our situation and trying to understand what kind of explosives were used. And as of now, what we understand.
Well, we'll try and get Shabir back in just a bit, but as Shabir was pointing out, that 5 people who have been detained right now are just low-level workers who were involved in the fireworks display. But the main people who are responsible, who have the blood of so many on their hands, including the temple trustees and the administrators of this particular temple who held this fireworks display despite a ban being in place by the district administration, despite all the requisite permissions not being there, those men are still on the run. Now, an FIR has been filed against 30 people in this particular case. I understand now Shabir is back with me. Shabir, you were saying something when when that audio connection got interrupted. Take us through what you were saying now. You were saying that there's an inspector who's at the site right now.
Well, the chief controller of explosives is here from Nagpur trying to assess the situation and trying to get first-hand information from the officials who are on the spot as to what exactly happened on that fateful night. And what we do understand is that what kind of explosives were used in these firecrackers is the big question that is being raised by many. And what we do also learnt from the briefing that was given to the chief controller of explosives is that potassium nitrate was used is what the officials told him, and he has seen this go down the storage, and he has collected some samples, and he has gone to the other side of the temple so that he can assess the damage it has created, this huge tragedy has created. And in fact, from the locals, what we do get to understand is that the tremors were felt more than 1.5 kilometers from this particular location. So that clearly goes to show the intensity and the magnitude magnitude of the blast or the fireworks that took place here. So clearly, and the complete onus is on the Devasam Board authorities who have gone missing. So where are the Devasam Board authorities is
Yes.
the big question that is being raised by the locals here. They want to know, they want to hear from the Devasam Board authorities. Why did they publicize this event in a gala manner? There were pamphlets, there were leaflets that were distributed to almost all the villages saying that there will be competitive firing here, fireworks here at the temple site despite a ban. So there was utter disregard for law. Several norms were violated.
Yes.
In fact, in this particular temple site alone, there was 200 to 300 kilograms of explosives that was stored that triggered this massive tragedy here. So several questions are being raised over the way. Who is accountable and what were the police officials who were there on that night doing? Why they did not stop this tragedy from happening, and what were they doing? They were here to control the crowd and to do some crowd management. There were 10,000 people who were gathered in and around this area, even though you can see there are slippers all over the place, so that which clearly goes to show that there were people here when the firecrackers were busted, and that is when this entire tragedy unfolded.
Now, Shabir, you have been amongst these people who have been witness to this horrible tragedy. Is there anger amongst them? Because the people responsible for this tragedy of this mammoth proportion, is the police now going after them? Is there any effort being made to trace these people? Because this was in complete defiance with the law. However, it was in collusion with politicians in that area who decided that, safety was not as important as getting political points.
Well, that is also another question that is being raised by many. They say that despite there was no permission, the Devasam Board authorities and the temple authorities, they went on to hold this firework display here at the temple site. All they informed others is that they have got an oral permission from the district authorities. So who gave them the oral permission and on what basis the oral permission was given? Whether it was keeping in mind the upcoming elections in Kerala, that this is a matter of faith, and if you antagonize the people from the Devasam Board or a particular religion, that will have some kind of consequences in the upcoming elections. So these are these the yardsticks based on which there was oral permission that was granted? So these are the questions that still remain unanswered. But on the other hand, the kind of explosives that have been used, it is not only a matter of faith, but it is also a matter of pride for the Devasam Board authorities, because in the matter of competitive firing and fireworks, what they do is they use heavy explosives to just showcase their pride and to win awards. So this is what triggered this entire controversy, and who are the people who are responsible, and what was the district administration doing when the fireworks actually started at 11 p.m. So these are the questions that still remain unanswered, and who is accountable for this, and will there be any action against these people who are responsible for the death of 107 people? So that is the big question that still
I'm going to interrupt you there, Shabir. As you're pointing out, there are many questions that need to be answered. On the phone line with me is Mr. Neil Kantansia. Neil Kantan is an activist. Thank you for joining us. Now, there are so many questions. There's so much anger amongst the people over there. Now, the first thing that they ask is, why are the people who were behind this, the trustees of that board, still missing? Because it's been close to about 24 hours since this tragedy took place. There has been no action against the men responsible.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. What is the question?
I was saying, Mr. Neil Kantan, that there is considerable anger amongst people over there because the men responsible for this are still at large. It does seem to be a larger collaboration of politicians, perhaps the police, in not arresting them.
Yeah, that is exactly the situation, madam. The question is, who is really responsible for the disaster? Is it only the temple committee or some contractor? No. There are people who banned it. The collector, the ADM, they all had given stay order to stop the fireworks. But then who ordered to do it? Maybe without, there is maybe a verbal order, we don't know. Maybe a negligence, order for a negligence. Here, there is an order from political system for the negligence. These people will never be caught. These people will never be caught because negligence of duty is also an offense as official. The SP was there, ASP was there, the police people were there. Who told them there is a permission? They were there telling, we thought that there is a permission. How they think there is a permission for such a disastrous incident? So the problem is they are all the culprits, and as far as we are concerned, they should be charged in criminal procedure code, that is for culpable homicide.
Okay. Now the other point also that is being made, Mr. Neelkantan, is that despite this tragedy, despite this massive tragedy, the Travancore board says that we are still going to go ahead and allow these firecracker displays to take place over the next 10 days. Shouldn't this rather be a wake-up call for everybody?
No, this is a real challenge to the humanity. That's what I'm saying. He is so negligent. Actually, I am also not for banning it. But there should be some authority to control it. There should be some authority to check it. And there should be some authority to approve it. But there is no authority now. Can the Travancore Devasom Board President take the responsibility for the incident? Is there any Devasom Board ready for that? Because human life is much higher than any belief, I think. Because all beliefs are for human life. So any accident to a human life, somebody should be responsible. This is not an accident. This was an unavoidable incident.
Right. Mr. Neelkantan, thank you very much for speaking to us on Times Now. Let's listen into a reaction that we got from the police to remember that 5 people who were low-level workers over there have been detained.
They have experts. They will be starting inquiry. Apart from that, magisterial inquiry is ordered by the district collector. I am interested with the magisterial inquiry. That inquiry I have to complete within 5 days. No, we are starting inquiry only. We have some background information, but we have to start the actual inquiry from today onwards. First, now I am waiting for the controller of explosive. Their team of senior most officers from Government of India are expected soon. First, I have to assist them. Then only I am starting my inquiry from the magisterial inquiry.
Some allegations are there that the government has denied permission to conduct the...
Yes, that is correct. We have denied the permission for this fire display, open display this time. That is fact.
Despite that, the program was conducted.
Despite the fact that program was conducted, how it is happened, that also to be inquired. Whether they conceal the explosives, how it is moved to this place, and like that, these things are to be ascertained.
And the priority should be given to working in the primary stage.
No, we cannot comment on who is responsible, how it is happened like that. We cannot comment at this point of time. It will take some time.
Did you have the information about the program conveners and the contractors of this?
Their names and addresses that we have. Identity and other details we have. But we have to find out them. We have to examine them. We have to record their statements.
That means they are abscond now.
Maybe, but we will try to find them.
Well, the crime branch probe into this, of course, has begun. The magisterial inquiry will also begin soon. Let's cut across live now to Trivandrum, where Nikhil Joshi is joining me. Nikhil, now, from where you're reporting, several of these injured have been brought in. About 350 people still injured, some of them in critical condition. Give us an update.
Well, you see behind me another ambulance from another hospital bringing in another patient being admitted to the Thiruvananthapuram Medical College Hospital. This has been pretty much the picture that keeps repeating itself and this has been going on since yesterday, ever since we got here. This is from another hospital, Aroma Medical Center, and having realized the need for sophisticated treatment and having realized the specialists that there are in treating burn-related injuries in the Medical College Hospital, people are being brought in as and when required and based on availability and need. That has been the situation here at the Thiruvananthapuram Medical College Hospital. In fact, there were 2 new admissions made just in the last 10 minutes. The number of people who've gotten themselves treated or admitted at this particular facility has gone past 150, and it has become a challenge for the doctors to handle the situation really, at least on this day, with fewer dignitaries visiting the hospital premise. It has become a lot more easier for them to stay organized in terms of providing treatment, but yesterday was another ball game altogether. As far as the meetings and the continued meetings are talked about, the medical college principal Dr. Thomas Matthew is chairing a meet right now, and that is a meet which will also make some inclusions from the fact-finding team that has gone around several hospitals in Thiruvananthapuram to try and understand the need of the situation there and then chart out a plan to cater to those needs. And at 1 o'clock, we're told, the health minister, who also happens to be the Devaswam board minister, or the Muzrai minister as we call it, he will be visiting the hospital and will be taking part in a meeting which will see the presence of the medical college principal, the medical education director and district collector, amongst many others. And then another plan for the rest of the day will be charted out in terms of resource mobilization and resource utilization.
All right, Nikhil Joshi as well as Shabir, who's joining me from Kollam for the moment. Thank you, both of you. We will be back with you shortly. So the update that we have at our end right now, of course, is that 5 people have been detained, but there is no trace of the Temple Trust authorities. Also, there are 150 people, about 150, who have been shifted to the Trivandrum Medical College.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.